Yeah, so what we know about where it's going to be going is, as you say, 7 billion euros it's going to be going across two really major spends. The first is going to be about 3 billion euros on two frigates. And this is, these are obviously huge warships, and this is as Germany is trying to boost up their military. And we know they're also going to contracts within Europe, which is also interesting because this is another thread of this, right? So this is going to be the Dutch, the French, and the Germans working together to build these ships. But also there's going to be 900 armored vehicle transportation units, which will be another 4 billion euros. And that is going to Rheinmetall, which we saw open at another record high again today. I mean, we've talked about it a lot on the show so far, and to all the defense companies we speak to. Again, these stocks are absolutely blazing because we don't really know what the limit of how much is that needs to be spent to really satisfy all of these plans. And we understand also that potentially this is the money that's not coming from the principal German budget, but from that off-budget 100 billion euros that was set aside after the invasion. And this is all part of the Scholz plan, the Zeitenwende, the turning point, that big speech he gave in front of Parliament 3 days after the invasion of Ukraine, that the paradigm has shifted for Germany. And that's just the money side of it. We should also mention, Guy, yesterday we saw the first permanent deployment of German troops outside of Germany going to Lithuania. This is really a lot of new precedented territory. This has not happened really since the Second World War.
Yeah, certainly a turning point for Germany and to some extent for other NATO members as well, Ollie. Do we have a sense of the scale of what rearming NATO means? We've talked a lot about just getting to 2%, but then there are questions about whether that goes far enough.
Right, the question of 2% and beyond. So last year we had a record year on defense spending globally. That was $2.2 trillion, right? And we've talked about the shortfall in NATO spending within Europe. We had a report out from IFO and the FT a couple weeks ago saying that that looked like last year 56 billion euros short. Germany was the biggest, most short, down 14 billion. But really, with all of these plans, these ambitious plans that we're talking about throughout NATO, they're talking about a possible spend of not just 2%, but sort of Cold War era spending, closer to 4%. And if you're to hit 4% across the United States, G7, Europe, all of these countries, Bloomberg Economics has crunched the numbers, we're talking about $10 trillion over 10 years. So this is absolutely mammoth. So that sort of very clean figure goes to a very sort of not clean question, which is how do you pay for it, right? And there are really only so many ways you can do so. You can either raise a lot more debt. There is a huge amount of debt already raised after the pandemic. We're coming back down from that. Is that where that has to come to? Raising taxes, or really finding some other creative modes of getting this money. And this is the really big debate that is happening now in Europe and with European leaders, and it's something we're going to talk about, the question of joint debt, the European Investment Bank reform, but they need to find the money to spend in order to get this military where it needs to be in light of what has happened over the last couple of years.